Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is SOS here.
And this is Sly Elsewhere.
And you have returned to
The Apocalypse Bros.
And we are back in our bunker where we usually are because we are afraid to leave home and social distancing is still a thing.
And I have a feeling we're probably about to find out why we're afraid to leave home.
Yeah, that's true. Today we're going to have an extra special guest. Especial.
Extra especial.
It's like asbestos.
We are bilingual. Especial.
It's a special guest. I better stop with that before I say something offensive or just.
I'm already offended.
I was gonna say just the accent alone is probably pretty offensive. So.
You want to hear bad accents? We got bad accents.
We got bad accents.
They're not good.
It's terrible. And like I was saying, we're going to have a special guest on today that's going to tell us a little bit about the freaky creatures out there in the post-coronapocalyptic world.
And they are freaky.
She has some real scary stuff to throw your way, and you are going to want to hear it because they are out there. And the whole purpose of our podcast is to help you survive. And this is how we're going to help you survive, by telling you about what it is that you need to survive against.
Exactly.
And it's terrifying. But first, before we get into that, we're going to go into the news. We're going to talk about some headlines.
News and headlines.
Sly, what's our first headline?
First headline, the news. What's going on today? Tommy Wiseau.
I think it's Wiseau.
Wax on, wax off. Tommy Wax off. Tommy Wiseau has begun filming a sequel to his cult classic, The Room, simply titled terrible. The Room 2. Are they going to be like in a smaller box?
They might be. A smaller room, smaller apartment
room.
Right.
It's like going to be extra small.
That's right.
Like,
but with more characters.
Were you scared of the first room? Be prepared to be scared of the second room.
Smaller.
Harder. Slower.
How did they make it hard?
Everything is extra hard cement.
So what's the premise of this movie?
So the premise of the movie is it portrays a seemingly happy married couple stuck in their apartment room together during the early events of the Coronapocalypse. You know what's funny is I should have just read this and then said, "Hey, this is what the Room 2 is about."
That's right.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, we're sitting here like
I still like mine better.
Yeah, and this is how movies are created, anyways. Like
exactly. So Room 3 will, if it is our idea, I want a chunk of that apocalypse change. So it's about a seemingly keyword happily married couple stuck in their apartment room together during the early events of the Coronapocalypse while everyone was under quarantine. The couple becomes more and more frustrated and even disgusted with each other, and the situation escalates. Make sure you check out this big hit to be in some form or fashion once it's finished.
Yeah, that's true, because movie theaters really don't exist anymore. What are they even making this movie for? Like, what's the format it's going to go to?
I've heard someone wanted to put on 8-track for audiobook, audio movie type style. 8-tracks are one of the more durable ones. Unfortunately, they got replaced by the wonderful cassette tapes, which then moved into CDs and the MP3s, and everything now is streaming. Well, it was until the apocalypse shut down everything.
Now we've gone backwards.
Right, we've gone backwards. So the 8-track that no one wanted to believe was going to be the number one platform for all things entertainment is really that. So I've heard they're doing stuff with that, making audio movies in that way. It's tough if you have a very visual movie, which this sounds like. It's a room, very visual.
Yep.
So they could be doing that. They also could be doing it where they're showing it in some sort of old form projection onto some sort of linen. Make sure you have a really dark room and a really light linen. So you're able to see it. So
I wonder if they'll make this like a traveling show. So Tommy is probably going to bring this. Mr. Wiseau is probably going to bring this across the nation.
Yeah, if it's like any other Corona show and they're doing anything live like that, the interesting thing is, for those of you new to Corona live shows, is that they don't actually have a cast on hand. So they pretty much walk into the town they're going to be in. They grab people that they think fit the parts, and they just give them the script and hope for the best in next week. So it is always a new show, really.
That's pretty much exactly what high school theater class was like for me.
Well, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Next headline. This one's mine. I don't know if you got a chance to read this one yet. I don't know if Anthony slid it your way, but I'm really excited about this because a new faction, we talked about gangs not too long ago and the factions and stuff. A new gang has actually risen up from the sands of the wasteland. Now, this group is located...
Now, is this because of our podcast, possibly?
It might be,
that it's really, spurred on a movement to create new factions, possibly?
No, that totally would make sense, because we did give them a lot of ideas, and we gave them a lot of kind of concepts on how to really brand themselves.
Exactly. So I bet they figured, you know what, if the other ones aren't going to take it, why don't we just take it and run with it?
Yeah.
Run a gang with it.
I'm going to mark down, as our marketing person, I'm going to mark down that these guys were listeners of ours.
That's what I'm going for.
I think that's a fair fact.
They should really name it after us.
I feel like they should, but I kind of really like the name they did come up with.
I
want to get to that.
I am interested to hear it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So now this group is located out of South Carolina, pretty explicitly.
Right.
And their leader refers to himself by the intimidating nickname Bones. And the reason he does this is because he wears a kind of a suit of armor that he has handmade from the bones of his enemies.
Oh my goodness, bone armor.
Yeah, basically. It's supposedly pretty strong.
Yeah.
And granted, these enemies include more than just people. It could also be beasts, animals.
Sure.
Which, again, we're going to get into here later.
Of course.
Now, this group seems to have a real passion and kind of an interesting eyes. They are focused on arts, anything art. So they often raid museums and galleries for everything from valuable paintings to sculptures, statues, things like that.
They say a culture can be reflected by its arts.
That's true. It's true. And these guys steal arts, which thus means I guess they kind of steal culture.
Wow.
In a way.
That's deep and dark.
It kind of does sound a little dark.
That's more terrifying than getting our actual goods stolen.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. So you got South Carolina crew. They are gang stealing art. Leader's name is Bones. This group, they have titled themselves the Carolina Bones and the Raiders of the Lost Art.
Wow.
It's a long title.
It is a long title.
Sounds
I do
weirdly
like it,
familiar. I don't know why.
It does. Lost Art. Raiders
Carolina Bones and the Raiders of the Lost Art. I don't know. I feel like I'm hearing something there, but I can't think of it.
I can't quite grab onto it. It seems like something of the ancients, maybe.
Yeah.
Read something in an archaeological book one time about it, but
something pre-apocalypse probably.
I guess if it really if any of our listeners out there can think of it, just go ahead and hit us up and let us know so we can, because it's like that. It's like when you know the name of somebody and it's just stuck on your tongue, you just can't say it. It's like, is it Melissa? Is it McCarthy? Is it Mariah? What is it? And then you're like, oh yeah, it was Susan.
It was Susan.
It was so close, and you just couldn't quite put it.
Susan.
It was 40-year-old Susan.
Gosh.
I've heard she's aged since then.
I'm sure she has. As long as she's within the 40s range, she's still 40-year-old Susan. If you have no idea what we're talking about, that's okay. It's just a survivor we know here in town.
A survivor, or something more. Find out
next time, or not, on the Apocalypse Bros.
I don't
know. And then we cut to music. That's what we're gonna do right now. We're cutting the music. No,
music cut.
Actually, we are gonna jump over to our guest star. We're gonna get her on the phone. So stay seated in your chair, because you're gonna want to hear everything that this next guest star that we're about to have has to say.
Or possibly get up and stretch first and then sit back down.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Blood flow is important.
Take a moment to do that if you need to.
Make sure you stay limber.
Once you sit down and we start getting into this guest star and what she has to say, you are going to want to stay in the area.
And if your muscles are too tight, you better say goodnight.
Yeah, I don't know if was I supposed to finish that?
Oh, no,
okay, that was okay. It felt like it could almost throw another verse. Well, it was almost like a poem.
If you got another one, I mean, it's not like it's a haiku, because those are dumb and don't make sense. But
what was it, like 7-11-7 or something?
It's like 5-9-5 or 5-7-5 7.
Some numbers.
I think it's like 5-7-5.
Syllables.
Yeah, it's syllables. I think it's 5-7-5.
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
So get stretched and sit back and relax, because we're bringing another guest star your way, and it is going to be something else right here on
The Apocalypse Bros.
All right, everybody, and we are back with the Apocalypse Bros podcast, and today...
Did you just say Brodos?
I said the Apocalypse Bros podcast.
Oh, yeah, our Apocalypse Bros podcast.
Yes, we're here with the Apocalypse Bros podcast, and we are about to interview a very interesting guest. She is a local conservation and field studies expert. So she is actually out there in the field at this very moment studying the estranged creatures. Is that the right way to use that word?
Estranged? Well, estranged is like when you have a family member that you really
Yeah.
don't talk to anymore. That's estranged.
Yeah, we don't really hang out with these
So,
animals.
it's true.
That works,
But
right?
did we ever though? So are they estranged if we never hung out with them?
We hang out with
They might
Anthony.
just be strange. Which is true. He is estranged,
He is-
but unfortunately not enough because he's here with
not
us.
estranged enough. He is also rabid, which actually, ironically,
Cue
is
the
the
stomach
name, the name of our guest, which is Rabid
Hmm.
Rachel. And again, she is the local conservation and field studies expert here to talk to us a little bit about the creatures of the post-apocalypse.
Whoop whoop.
Rachel, are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, the only creature that Sly and I really hang out with is Anthony.
It's
and
true.
he's just I wouldn't say he's a regular raccoon. He is definitely different. But we don't know much about what is going on out in the world that has to do with these, creatures and such. And I know there is a ton out there. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Anthony actually has some friends, but he doesn't really tell us about them very much.
No.
So we ask him, and he says, "No, those are kind of my friends." He tries to keep it close to the chest or the vest or the raccoon chest vest.
they got
so-
kind of like a
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I can actually explain that behavior.
Oh.
Sure.
Yes. So one of the creatures that I am going to be talking to you about today are of Anthony's species.
Oh, okay.
And
Listen up, Anthony.
yes, so listen up. He's probably going to try and find me and take me out after giving away the secret, but it's
Oh, I
okay.
wouldn't be
We move
surprised.
around a lot. Yeah, we move around a lot, so we're fairly safe,
Awesome.
sort of.
Now,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on out here, guys, but
As long as
we try.
I
We try.
the good news is I don't think you're doing anything the sanitation union is disapproving of too much, because I think otherwise you would have come up on a radar before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're probably safe as long as you stay within the bounds of sanitation union likability.
Well,
Oh,
we'll see about that. I've got some pretty interesting creatures that they may not want people to know about, but the people deserve to know
I
because
agree.
it's wild out here.
That's fair. That's
Okay.
fair.
Wild. That's fair. Okay, so to start off, obviously we know that coronavirus has affected animals,
Of
but
course.
not necessarily in the way we would think, Coronavirus in humans has caused the Rona roamers,
That's true.
or the coronavirus is it
The corpses.
Corpses,
Right, the corona
right?
corpses.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
It's
It's-
okay.
the radio
'cause-
cuts in and out?
Oh no, that's okay.
Yeah.
I kind of got voted out on that one, anyways. I think most people prefer the Rona roamers, and I'll get over it.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. I'm sorry. Ed,
No,
but,
no,
you
it's
know,
fine.
You tried.
I tried.
Okay. So the unfortunate thing about the coronavirus affecting animals, firstly and worstly, as I like to say,
Ah, yes.
basically everything has gotten bigger
Uh-oh.
and everything has gotten meaner.
Well, that's definitely not good.
Secondly, definitely not good.
That explains Anthony.
This is why we live in a
secondly,
wasteland.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, not a lot out here.
Well, we hope not,
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm still uncovering different creatures.
Our
so,
bunker is built
you know.
well. We had Anthony test. Anthony can't even scurry out any holes anymore.
That's right.
He has to. That's actually the only reason he learned how to use the door handle.
That's
so he
right.
can get in and out. So he still doesn't know the passcode because
Well,
that would
that's-
be dangerous.
Let's hope he doesn't figure it out.
That's
Well,
right.
I mean, that's why we have to lock our secret stash of food and stuff, because
He's
Anthony
always
would be,
getting into it.
yeah, he doesn't know the code and somehow his stuff still goes missing. And SOS says it's not him, but
It's not me, I swear.
I mean,
fingers crossed
I
Uh-huh.
feel like there should be an interrogation between the two.
for
That
another
would-
time.
That'd be a heck of an episode. Right
That
there.
would be a heck of an episode.
Tell me where they are. Where's the
SOS
snacks?
versus Anthony.
We really need to get Anthony on here. I think we'll have to have an interpreter probably
You could
for
do
him though.
good
Do
cop,
you
bad cop,
we
and
could.
Anthony would totally be the bad
do you speak raccoon, because we may need an interpreter?
That's fine. Okay.
cop. Okay, perfect.
Just get ready for your callback.
Okay. I will. I will be prepared. All right. So, on the topic of Anthony, here's the deal. They're raccoons. He may not want you to know that,
They're-
but that's not what they are anymore.
They're not
they're
raccoons.
These
Okay.
mutations
I'm watching you,
have
Anthony.
now turned these raccoons into kleptocoons.
Clustocoon.
Klepto, as in like
Kleptomaniac?
as in stealing stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Dun dun.
Okay. Forget the cute trash panda that everybody loves and knows. Okay. These little masked crusaders have evolved to true robbery.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah. So mutation has made them smart, as you guys know. I mean, you've got Anthony working for you. He's one of the few good ones.
Well, let's
okay?
hope so.
But
If that's good, I don't want to see
so
bad.
far,
yeah, right? And you're sitting here telling me that I might be the one stealing the snacks, and then our expert is straight up telling you that these raccoons are built for theft.
Listen, I'm just saying I'm not sure he's smart enough to use and enter their code, all right? That's all I'm saying.
She says they're mutating,
All right.
man.
Fine. Whatever.
So not only are they mutating to the point of having extreme intelligence, they have figured out how to rob the bank, which means that they are now hoarding toilet paper.
Oh,
well, that explains that new horse and buggy that Anthony bought last week.
That's true.
At least it's not stolen. I mean, the money was.
He's got a guy that drives him around, too.
He does.
He, like, pays that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Blows me away.
It's amazing. The apocalypse, what a world.
I feel like we devolved. I don't know how you term that.
Right.
And then all the animals are getting smarter. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, not good. Yeah, stay at home, folks. This is a stay at home.
Stay at home. Stay at home is smarter. Yes.
Stay 6
I
feet
am
apart
the Who.
from animals.
Right. Well, with the intelligence increase that they have begun to show, not only are they beginning to rob places and collect toilet paper, they have become mob-like in their family gatherings and how they live, which is why Anthony does not like to talk about his friends and his family.
Oh,
makes sense. That checks out.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's sad, but
he doesn't want to get pulled back in. He just got out. He doesn't want them to pull him back in. Every time he gets out.
That might be it.
His family.
Absolutely. That is for Anthony. I'm sorry I may have sold you out just now, but like I say, the people deserve to know.
That's okay.
We know his secret now.
We know Anthony's not his birth name anyway, so I think his secret identity is still safe.
I'm gonna go like just to get back at him every now and then. I'm gonna go get like a few magazines of like wildlife. I'm gonna cut out pictures of raccoons, and then I'm gonna get a picture of Anthony, cut that out, put it in like a family photo, and wave it in his face like a jerk sometimes.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
it's good. Listen to Anthony.
That'll be perfect.
Yeah, every time he's
Do you want to be like your first cousin?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah.
Right.
Earthquake, sorry.
So those are the kleptocoons.
Okay.
They're not the most dangerous, but they're definitely a nuisance.
That's right, and they'll steal your food supplies. They'll steal your toilet paper supplies.
Now, is this a ranking system where you're going from least dangerous to most dangerous?
For the most part, yes. I definitely did leave the worst for last.
Awesome.
There is a honorable mention in here, too, of a very non-violent creature, but there have been more sightings of them.
Sure.
So, but for the most part, yes.
Awesome.
Least dangerous up to most dangerous.
Perfect.
And that's just
like
a sampling of what's out there.
There's all kinds of things that we haven't even seen yet.
Wow.
Take all the undiscovered stuff that was already in the world and then just like multiply it because we're in the wasteland, for goodness sakes.
Wow.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
All right. So, yeah.
Yeah,
things always get worse in post-apocalyptic times. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, no, definitely. So what's a step worse in the worst direction to the klepto? How do you say it?
Klepto.
Klepto.
CLEPTO.
Okay, got it.
I'm guessing if it's like kleptomaniac. I don't know if it's got that cool apocalypse one where it's like K because it's so savage and cool.
Yeah.
Rebellious K.
That's right. Yep. And it is. It's spelled with K.
It's like back in the.
And then Coons also has a K.
It's like back in the ancient times when you ever build your MySpace page, anything that had a K sound to it had to be K.
It's a K.
You know, that's how you knew you were bad.
Yep.
Well, we're just trying to give a little nostalgia to the masses, and maybe that'll give them a little hope.
Yeah, definitely.
But now, these names that I am listing, I had a huge help from my field study partner, Clint Butkiss. He is currently with me, but studying a group of creatures that I'm about to talk about, so he is unable to talk.
Sure,
but
he's
I did
focused.
want to let you know that I've got a lot of help out here.
Awesome.
Can't do it alone.
Gotta love a good butt kiss.
Yeah, that's right.
You
Well,
do.
We
You do.
appreciate.
Nothing's
we
better than a
appreciate-
good butt kiss.
We appreciate all the assistance from Clint and a lot of love from the fans, from the audience here for Clint for getting a lot of this research together alongside Red and Rachel. Clint. He's a true G.
Mm-hmm.
He is true G. Now, the group of creatures that Clint is currently studying and trying to stay safe while doing so are the narcatics. I'll say that again. The narcatics.
Okay.
So take your domestic cat, that sweet little innocent Boots that you used to have running around in your house.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Throwing the ball of yarn.
Throw it outside.
Throw it outside.
Get rid of it.
It's out of here.
Throw it outside.
I don't want it anymore.
See ya, Simon. You're out.
I had a cat named
Right.
Simon.
Well, see.
Ironically, so.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, Simon probably wants you dead now.
Oh,
Okay.
he is dead now.
That's
We got to him
from
first.
the
paper for
grave.
everybody.
From the grave, he wants me dead.
The grave. Well,
Because he's
From the
risen as
grave.
something
It's
much darker.
it's the apocalypse. Anything could happen.
Yes. Well, these narcatics have a hive mentality. Okay, and so it started most prevalent in stray cats that we saw that began to gather in larger and larger groups over time. And with this kind of hive mentality, they communicate with pheromones.
Oh. Like bees.
Much like bees.
Do they
exactly.
just like pee all over the place then?
Yes, exactly. And that is why cat pee smells so bad. That was the first sign of the mutation.
That's why we had to throw out all those pills last month.
That's right.
Yes. They were trying to call for aid for more narcotics.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
I'm
Anthony,
actually
you're on
But it
allergic
gets
to
worse.
bees.
We're putting Anthony on lookout.
I wonder if I'm also allergic to these
Urine sprays?
narcotics. Yeah, whatever they do. Because I'm allergic to bees.
I imagine if they're like cats that spray like in order to attract the other sex during mating season. I'm assuming that's the same way they do pheromone. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not the narcotic expert. That would be Clinton Rabbit over there.
That's true.
Well, the pheromones are mostly now anyway, with the mutation, to communicate where they have found possible prey. These animals do not go out alone. They are constantly within a group. So as far as finding a mate, it's pretty easy. You just look to your left or your right.
Sure.
You've always got an option.
That makes
you know?
sense.
So they still look for
Now-
mates. They don't have like a queen that like births more of these narcotics over time. It's just like they're still like mammal like creatures. They just have this like mental connection.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
Which is actually scarier because that means even more of them are procreating at once.
Very true.
Instead
That
of
makes
just one.
sense.
It gets very scary. Another kind of terrifying mutation that these cats have developed are these narcotics. They now have two tails, which are prehensile, meaning that they can grab things very easily. And so what these narcotics do is they roam the streets in their groups. One tail they use to spray and then smear it everywhere to kind of direct the group.
Yeah.
And the other one is to snatch up any prey that they can get a hold of.
I just have this image in my mind that they're like these giant arrows and they light up like neon when you put a black light or some sort of light over them.
I haven't tested it, but that possibly, might have that same effect.
That's the
if
next
we
stage.
took a black light to it.
Right? Yeah, I feel like we have to get that figured out, and you have to get back to us on that because that is interesting.
It is interesting. These cats or these narcotics are mostly found in cities and subdivisions, which makes sense because it's developed from domestics.
Typical.
They'll snatch anything They'll get a hold of anything they can. They'll snatch kids. They'll snatch wives. So
hide your kids.
I was just gonna say we need to hide our kids and hide our wives.
That's right.
It was a prophecy meant to be fulfilled.
It was.
We just didn't know who it would be by the cats.
He said it years and years ahead of his time.
We just made fun of him by posting weird videos on what's called YouTube, kids.
And
YouTube.
look how stupid we are now.
Exactly. He was trying to warn all of us.
That makes
and
so
here
much
we are.
sense.
Man.
The fools we are.
Fools. Narcotics.
But we can learn.
That's right. That's true. And that's why you're here to tell us about these creatures so we know when we're out there that if we see a two-tailed cat, get out of there.
Now, yeah, exactly.
Well, and the worst part, the reason they're called narcotics is because the spray that they have is, it's like a drug.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you, if it sprays you, it not necessarily knocks you unconscious, but it puts you in a drugged trance-like state, so you
You're
can't
all
get away
mellowed
from
out.
them. Exactly, and that is why it gets so dangerous, because if you inhale any of it, you're stuck, and you're theirs for the taking.
My gosh.
I feel like if the movie Cats would have been more like Narc Cats, I think that would have been a lot better. Might have actually got more than like a 1% rating.
Yeah. This is like a weird mix between the Cats movie and the Birds. Because
Yeah.
there's like the creepy
True.
apocalypse killing people
Yeah.
aspect. And then
Exactly.
Cats.
I'm telling you,
Now,
Mother Nature took terrible films and put them together in
Mother
real life.
Nature's
Crazy.
been watching
So
what
true.
we've been putting out there and said, okay, let me show you what this will look like.
how about like a Mary Poppins film where a nice nanny flies in and washes
Saves
everything down with
everybody.
sugar and takes us into some, fox hunts and stuff? How about
She
something
can
like
fit
that?
everything in her bag.
Exactly.
Jeez, Mother Nature, what
We
are you
could
doing?
put our bunker in a bag and pull it out. It's like a
That'd
to-go
be
bag.
cool.
Like Ant-Man versus Wasp. You pull your bunker, you shrink it, you pull it.
Or like Dungeons and Dragons with the bag of holding.
D&D, bag of holding.
That's
the
right.
bag of holding. Now, one question about narcotics. Now, are they more dangerous than the kleptocoons because they are a pack animal?
Yeah, so because they hunt in packs and because they actively search out prey and do not discriminate towards human prey, whereas the kleptocoons are more interested in what you have to steal.
True.
They don't care about killing you or eating you.
Makes sense.
It's more beneficial to them to keep us alive so we can keep, producing products that they can come steal from us, because they don't want to do the work of producing product.
Right. Or skimming off the top of your profits from a popular podcast show.
That's right. Anthony.
Watch that, Anthony.
I know. I feel like we gotta like babysit this thing. It's like a
Lockdown.
child.
Put him on lockdown.
Very intelligent and theft-oriented child.
Which is...
Wait, did you say put him down?
most no, put him on lockdown.
Oh.
My goodness. We need a
It's
producer.
like we need our producer. Can't put him down.
I mean, we like Anthony. We wouldn't put him
no.
down.
Listen, Anthony knows how to make a good cup of joe, which probably comes from living with the mob,
It's true.
and he seems fairly trustworthy. I would just keep an eye on him, but I wouldn't say he's a bad guy.
He's not bad so far.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, most producers are.
Okay.
Am I right?
That's right. Oh.
Oh.
So
yeah,
we got-
that's fair.
That's podcasting.
That's fair.
That's a creature in and of itself. Proud,
Yeah, it
proud
is.
producers. So we've got kleptocoons. We've got narcotics.
What's next
What
on
could
your
possibly be next?
Right?
Are you ready for this?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
The
I'm
first
sitting down.
time,
Ah.
the first time me and Clint Butkus ran across this creature, I may have peed just a little bit.
Oh, that's fair.
That's fair. Okay. So we've got the Hulk Otter.
The Hulk otter.
The Hulk Otter.
Now I like otters,
The Hulk Otter.
but I'm nervous.
Well, don't we all?
Right? Aren't otters nice and sweet? And they like, you throw a ball and they play with it, and then they like eat fish and stuff?
And clams.
And clams.
Sure.
Clams.
Yeah, that was
Give me your clams.
that's exactly what they were like pre-corona virus.
Mm.
Okay.
Dun dun.
So what are we stuck with now?
Now we're stuck with a creature that, unfortunately, basically, any of these that hunt don't discriminate. They'll eat you. They'll eat anything they get a hold of, including the Hulk Otter. Okay, The worst thing about these creatures is they change size to match the prey that they're hunting.
That's
to always
terrifying.
give them the advantage.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
terrifying.
What kind of limits does this have? Like how small, how large, like have they been known to get?
Well, from my personal observations, I have seen them get as small as a field mouse.
Mm-hmm.
I have also seen them get larger than a Kodiak bear located in Alaska.
Oh, goodness.
So I haven't seen a maximum, and I really don't feel like testing that.
No, absolutely not.
No, I don't blame you.
That's a scary field test.
Sure. Now, do they still stick pretty primarily to their natural habitat with like water? Is that kind of their focus?
They do love the water.
Okay.
They still love the water, and here's why. They're obviously good swimmers, but the other mutation that they have developed besides change in size is in the water, their fur now becomes transparent and spiked.
So they can.
So whatever
like
they
invisible.
swim around, they're invisible.
Fantastic.
But they're also in the water.
Wonderful. So now we have this.
And they've got
this carnivorous otter that can change size into whatever it is hunting, and also goes camouflage. That's perfect. I'm never ever going towards a body of water ever again. Ever.
It is risky, especially with the spikes that their fur, poke out in the water. And the reason for that is so they can just casually swim around and just stab whatever they swim by.
Oh, good.
For a little snappy snack.
Don't think that you can get around the water in your little life raft,
Yeah.
your inflatable raft, because it's just gonna deflate.
Absolutely not.
It's
Pop,
not gonna
pop.
happen.
That's right.
Pop, pop.
Now, the one weakness that they have is they're so non-discriminant about prey that they'll even eat each other.
Ah.
So maybe we'll get lucky.
And they'll just go extinct,
And they'll just-
essentially.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
hope for some hungry mating parties, and then males and females all just eat each other and
That's right.
GG.
Thank goodness.
Right.
I guess that is a pretty good defense when it just kind of kills themselves.
That must be what doesn't put them towards the top of the list, because
True.
otherwise, I mean, I don't know what weaknesses they really have.
I mean, I'm kind of scared though to see the top of the list, knowing what this is capable
Right.
of. My goodness, top
That's-
of the
yeah.
list. I mean,
I'm scared.
yeah.
Now, mind you, I'm just one conservationist putting together data with what I've discovered in just this specific area of the world.
Sure.
So if we need to rearrange things, this is obviously subjective to peer review.
Sure.
Gotcha.
So feedback is always appreciated in the scientific field, especially since it doesn't really exist anymore.
That's true. You are the scientific field at this point, almost.
Me and Clint trying to make it happen.
That's right.
I'm believing you guys. We
That's
appreciate
right.
all you're doing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, all of us would just be going around getting eaten by things.
Yeah. Oh, look, a cute little otter, and then it eats you.
Chomp.
What a shame.
Suddenly grows. And
What a
then-
way to go.
Now, I have heard you guys talk in the past about the wolves.
Yes.
I haven't noticed much change in the wolves besides the fact that it seems like the sanitation union uses them to help guard their place of business, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I think the sanitation union must have like captured a large quantity of them and just kind of maintained them from mutation. I guess. I
Right.
don't know if that's a thing, but I'm assuming that's what they did.
Okay.
That's why you don't see a lot of change. That would make sense. I don't know. I'm throwing theories here,
That's all we got.
and I've
So
got no
there's-
scientific background to back
Right.
it up.
So there's one creature that we don't have to worry about. We just, they're naturally deadly, and at least there's nothing extra.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
good.
Perfect.
If that is any comfort.
Pack of
Perfect.
wolves. Oh, that's just a
Previously-
pack of wolves. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean,
It's
we're
not like
all-
it's a pack of narcotics, okay?
Hulk otters.
Yeah, no big deal. It's fine.
Well, again, to give a little bit of optimism, I rarely have ever seen Hulk otters travel in packs. They seem to be a little bit of a loner, which makes sense considering they don't want to get eaten by their own species.
That's true.
So
That makes sense.
Now,
maybe we'd have a chance one on.
I would question, you know, if a Hulk otter saw another Hulk otter, what size would they turn into in order to have the advantage?
The size of that Hulk otter,
like it just be a one up and a one up.
Now that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, would they eventually just explode? So if I'm a Hulk otter, I see another bigger Hulk otter, I transform into him, and then he transforms into my bigger, like
slightly
bigger. Right? Would it be slightly? Would you just continuously slightly bigger for like a millennium? And
that
then
would definitely be a good way.
You just have
to
two
find
Godzilla Hulk otters fighting each other.
The maximum possible size. Of
I mean, because their atoms might change, but eventually the atoms would have to have some sort
you
of.
only have so much mass you could reach.
Right. Yeah. I would assume the atoms would just become so unstable they might just explode. We'll have to get a physicist.
And that is that is an extremely strong theory.
Mm-hmm.
If I or somebody ever witnesses an on-land battle between otters, Hulk otters,
mm-hmm.
that would be very fascinating to find out. The only reason that I even know that they will eat each other is I happened to study them in the water once. I saw two go into the water, one was chasing the other, and then, as we know, they
mm-hmm.
become invisible in the water.
Yep.
And all I saw after that was blood coming up to the top of the water, and then once the air hit pieces of it, you could see just shredded pieces floating down the river peacefully.
2 went in, 1 came
alone.
out.
2 went in, 1 came out.
Yeah.
It's like the Thunderdome.
So that would be interesting to find out.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Maybe we'd have more of a chance in the Thunderdome. I mean, let's be honest.
Awesome. I feel like it.
All right.
So we're going up the ladder. We're moving from the.
What's more terrifying than the Hulk otter? Than the invisible, spiky, transforming creature that eats whatever it sees.
Well, next up we've got the Velocirabbit.
The Velocirabbit.
I mean, rabbit. I mean, even a Velocirabbit. I couldn't see a rabbit being that scary.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. They do appear a little unassuming. They really do have these super cute, oversized ears, and they kept their fuzzy fur. They've gotten a little taller. They're about 10 inches high.
Okay.
So they look pretty harmless. The problem is they are extremely territorial now.
Okay.
And
that checks out.
If you get anywhere near them, they will start to run you down.
Oh.
The reason they're so dangerous is they actually travel in packs of no less than 30, and I've seen them as large as 50.
That's terrifying. So that thing could
30
take out.
Velociraptor.
That thing could definitely take out a Hulk otter, because it would be Hulk otter would transform into the size of one of them, but then the whole pack of them would just be able to surround him and take him out. I feel like.
Huh. That's a good point.
Yep. Exactly. Well, and they're extremely quick. They can run up to 40 miles an hour. They have a venomous bite.
Oh,
faster than Anthony.
So, yes, faster than Anthony, faster than the Hulk otter, and
probably faster than me.
Will paralyze you with their bite.
Paralyze
with my bite. It's a paralyzing poison. Okay.
Wonderful.
From course this rabbit.
Paralyzing Velociraptor.
So you can't outrun them. Yes. So that's what makes them more dangerous than the Hulk otter.
I am not.
You can't outrun them.
I'm not throwing carrots to the next rabbit I see.
Or maybe you should. Maybe that would distract.
Maybe, yeah. If I see them in a pack of 30, I will throw them one way and run the other way.
I guess the question would be, did you bring enough for everybody?
Right.
The 30 plus Velocirabbits that are going to be chasing you. Do you have enough carrots for all of them?
30 pack, hopefully. I don't know. Maybe they'll just fight over the one.
Well, the good news is these Velocirabbits right now are contained to desert landscapes only.
Oh, good. Good.
So
Arizona.
Not as common. You don't have to really worry about running into them unless you choose to go out to the desert. If that's where your bunker is, then I'd keep an eye out.
That's fair.
Wow.
And they burrow. Do they still burrow like other rabbits do?
They still burrow.
Okay.
They have, unlike the simple dens that the desert hare used to have. Now that there's 30 to 50 per family, there's a massive underground network of
gosh.
dens and tunnels and different rooms.
Like meerkats.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just building tunnels and stuff.
My gosh.
Yeah, I guess if I see any holes or any type of burrows, I'm gonna try to go the other way then.
Because there's either velocirabbits inside or yellow-bellied lizards,
Yes, well,
yellow-spotted lizards.
those are
Neither
large.
of which you want to come across.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. Well, so what's the
Yeah.
next animal of the ladder of death animals that you're bringing us today?
Well, so this is actually my honorable mention,
Oh, okay.
and thankfully it's not dangerous at all.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness. Let's get some good news.
Yes.
Some good news.
Let's get some good news. Yeah. So there have been reports of sightings of the purple people eater coming back around.
Ah,
I've heard of these,
PPEs.
and I've heard a lot of kind of mixed tales, a lot of mixed whatever.
A lot of mixed
about
tapes?
I have heard a few mixtapes. I've made a couple mixtapes actually.
Purple people
but
eater. What? What?
As far as the purple people eaters go, I'm not actually sure what to believe. So I'm really glad you're here to tell us what I can officially put down as what these purple people eaters are.
SOS has got his notepad ready.
That's right, I do.
Well, I have seen one with my own eyes,
Okay, perfect.
so I can tell you exactly what it looks like.
Awesome.
Contrary to its name, they are yellow,
Oh, but that's because they eat purple
and they
people.
only,
Yes.
well, actually, they only eat plants.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, well, that is nice.
Yeah,
Vegetarians.
they think humans are gross.
Oh, that's fair. We kind of are.
Well.
Now I will say that it's not a pretty creature. Stumbling across it, I was startled at first. It is 6.5 to 7 feet tall,
Oh.
and it had a
Ooh.
really awkward, shaggy mane and oversized flat teeth in a lipless mouth. So not something that I wanted to photograph.
It's not something you'd want to be walking down a dark alley and run into.
Yeah, it sounds a little scary.
Yeah.
No, you would not assume that it was harmless, but it really is. So,
Interesting.
yeah,
So what?
but they're back.
Visually, do they look
Go
like
ahead.
people, or what do they look like?
They do. They're humanoid. They can speak. They are simple creatures, but they can speak, communicate with us.
Huh.
And this specific one told me that it was a purple people eater. That's how I discovered what it was.
Sure,
Oh.
they know their own species.
That makes it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, got confusing, with it being yellow. And he
Mhm.
said the whole reason that they developed that name is one of them had been spotted rolling around in a field of flowers that had a really strong purple dye.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And that's kind of, how humans are.
Yeah, we
And
just
they
kind of
just
went off on
assumed
that.
because of how, exactly. And
Makes
humans,
sense.
didn't ask any questions and saw this giant mouth and just assumed, well, this thing's people. So
Because we always assume the worst. It's
Right.
true.
Well,
It's true.
we always assume the worst.
And look at us. We all look like a bunch of dummies because it turns out they're pretty chill peeps.
it's true.
They are. They're very kind creatures. They live in the forest in the north, and I would only hope that if others run across them, they are kind to them because it's really one of the few creatures we have on our side.
Sure, yeah. And I think that's a big important piece too. We should be befriending these
Oh yeah.
and working with them.
And do they just have like a steady diet of berries and leaves then, or what is their diet?
They do love berries. Who doesn't love berries?
Sure,
They
makes
taste
sense.
sweet. They're good. Now they do eat a lot of nuts and a lot of vegetables to get their protein.
Of course.
Can't live just on berries. That's
No,
like
that's
eating
true.
dessert all the time.
Can't live on berries alone.
yeah, it's
Gotta have some nuts.
Right.
and
it's another
veggies.
apocalypse a saying
That's right.
we have around here.
That's right.
You guys know your stuff.
That's
Well,
right.
you know.
Well, we try. We don't know everything, which is why we have fantastic
Exactly.
experts like yourself.
We survived this long. We want to make sure we can help others survive with
That's true.
help from experts like you.
Yes. And we are thankful that you're here to get the word out, to let the masses know how things are out there.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, moving on from the one piece of good news that we have.
I'm glad that we had
Yeah.
kind of that
We,
intermission.
that
was a
of-
nice break.
Yeah.
Get myself some popcorn, relax
Yes.
a little bit. Prepare myself for the horrible
Right.
news that's to come. Good.
Now, this one is next up on the scary level, but not necessarily for everybody.
Okay.
They target certain people. These are the pterodactyls. It used to be a parrot.
Oh, okay.
Pterodactyls.
Pterodactyls.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Not
And the mutation has basically, yes, what I've witnessed is this mutation has basically devolved them back into their dinosaur ancestors.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful.
So
It went backwards, but still made it more dangerous.
Right.
essentially, yes. So we've now adapted the term pterodactyl. They have lost all feathers. Their wings have, they are now leather wings, and they have scales covering their body.
Wonderful.
They are huge. Their wingspans are reaching up to 8 feet across.
Oh,
Good.
wow.
Good.
Okay. So they're big.
Yes.
12-inch long beaks that have 2 fangs at the very end. So they're like the new vampire.
I was just going to say, like a vampire.
Do they have large talons?
Very large talons. About, I would say, each one is probably the length of an average human index finger.
My goodness.
Okay.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Sly,
obviously sharp.
would you describe mine as average, or where would you say my index finger? Since you're in the studio here with me.
Extremely average.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I could high five one.
You could. And then it would tear your flesh off, I
That's
imagine.
very true. Be the last high five
Now,
I gave.
You have to remember that their claw is the length of an index finger. That does not mean that the size of their actual foot is the same size
that's
as
a good
yours.
point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I guess that would be just
They're
your
much
claw.
larger.
That makes sense, yeah.
Just their claw. Now, the reason I say that they're only dangerous to certain people is because right now we've heard rumors of a man from the East named Roland
Rolling.
that has learned to. That's right. He's learned to train them, and he's made them available as pits for hire.
Oh my goodness.
Interesting.
Wow. My sanitation unit partners
He's
are
got
writing
them
this down.
contained. That's. I'm sure there are many people out there going, Roland.
Yeah, that's
What
easy
was
to
that
remember.
phone number?
Right. It's
Yeah, right.
That's a name
Yeah,
to remember,
exactly.
We'll edit that out. That's fine.
Yes, it is a bit terrifying. I had the unfortunate and also fortunate experience, because it's how I uncovered them, of seeing one locally take out a local garbage man and haul him off.
My goodness.
Never be seen again.
Holy cow.
So
Now these pterodactyls, do they retain the ability for speech, or have they devolved to the point where they no longer have that speech capability, which is really, I know, not speech, but it's imitating noise.
Mimicking.
Yes.
Yes. I have not seen one able to mimic sound. They just basically do a lot of screeching.
Right.
The only
before
time
they
that they
attack.
don't make noise. Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
And then right before, it's just a silent dive bomb.
Wonderful.
Bam.
Sure.
Right into your head and shoulders and knees and toes. They get everything.
No, that makes sense. Now, that's good. That's good. Because, see, I was worried. When you asked that question, Sly, I was really nervous because I have to say, I think, honestly, as far as, like, animals attacking anyone, and granted, all of this kind of comes out of a more sci-fi sense, but the thing that kind of freaks me out the most is how human they can be without being human.
Right.
And so the idea of a creature being able to, like, mimic sounds to lure their prey
Oh my
in
goodness.
really freaks me out.
Could you imagine?
Pre-apocalypse, I saw this movie Annihilation, which was terrible. Keep in mind, but there was a bear that could mimic the screams of its
Oh my
some
goodness.
prey that it had gotten.
It's like predator stuff.
Yeah, and it freaked me out. I thought
I remember that creature.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I didn't really care for the movie personally, but the one thing that did really stick with me and really creeped me out after that was that bear. and how it could do that. And then obviously everybody comes running because they're like, oh, we got to go help our friend out. Something's wrong.
Right.
And then boom, you getting attacked and eaten by this creature. So I would say, I'm actually kind of grateful that the pterodactyl isn't able to do this, and I'm gonna hope that it stays that way.
Exactly.
It doesn't continue to mutate into that capability.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't evolve from its devolved state and stay giant, deadly, and it can lure people in. That'd be terrifying.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. If that happens, I may have to quit my job as a conservationist because it might be too much for me.
Exactly.
That's it. I'm out.
I mean, I'm amazed you're still out there with the stuff that you've described. That blows me away.
Thank you. It's hard some days.
I can imagine.
We don't get a lot of sleep out here.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of.
So how many animals you got left? Just counting down to the top predator.
Well, the pterodactyl actually brings me to our deadliest creature of tonight. Now, obviously, I haven't gone through every creature that's out there. I've just tried to bring up the ones that are the most likely that a person may run across just trying to live their day-to-day life.
Oh, okay.
So this is the worst one.
Okay, got it.
And this is the one that will probably get me on Sanitation Union's radar because it is one of their creatures. They're called night sweepers.
Night creepers?
Night sweepers.
Sweepers. Like a broom.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, night sweepers.
Now, what the Sanitation Union are using these creatures for is to attack those that are out past curfew or trespassing places that the Sanitation Union doesn't want them.
Sure.
Interesting.
Okay. Now, the reason that these are top on the list is they are essentially a trapdoor spider, but they are roughly the size of mid-sized sedan. They have 10 legs, 6 pairs of eyes, and 2 sets of venomous fangs.
This is the part of the show
a nightmare.
This is the part of the show where SOS takes a moment to openly cry and realize that with creatures like these out in the world, it's better to just stay home.
Exactly.
And just make a podcast.
Take a moment to silently weep for
humanity.
For humanity, yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Sly. I really don't like spiders. I really don't. I can't handle them at normal size.
I heard Anthony had to come in and rescue the other night when I heard a terrifying scream from your room.
Yes. It was a daddy long leg. And he ate it.
And
he just picked it up and ate it like it was nothing.
Well, man's got to eat.
I'm not saying a man or a raccoon doesn't need to eat. I just was terrified at something so small and just with so many legs and eyes.
Well, having a raccoon on call like that, isn't all bad.
So I think the moral of this, and obviously we'll let Rabbit Rachel explain more about this creature, but I think the moral of this is stay inside when you're supposed to stay inside.
Agreed.
If the Sanitation Union sets a curfew, it is for your best interest. To stay inside. And I cannot emphasize that enough. To go inside and stay home.
Yes, I'm sure if these things exist, I have been told that the Sanitation Union can neither confirm nor deny their existence. But if they do exist, I'm sure it is mainly just to keep all of us doing what we need to be doing, and keeping all of us really safer in the long run.
The only reason the boogeyman is under your bed or in your closet is because he is also respecting the curfew and not going out past when he's allowed to.
Plus, he knows you need a good night's sleep.
Also true. And he wants to ruin it.
Yes, it is. Right. It is definitely only for the well-being and safety of all of us that they have, turned to such drastic measures, and I've definitely never seen with my own eyes them use these creatures against people that speak out against the Sanitation Union.
Well, of course not.
I've never seen that.
They're all about free speech, free understanding. If anything, the Sanitation Union is always calling people in to talk to them. If there's a misunderstanding, just just ask, Rusty Buckets.
Yeah.
I heard they just really want to talk to him, and we haven't heard from him since. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence. It's not a causation coming from correlation or anything.
He's been busy just fixing himself up.
Yeah. He's just he's really being re-educated what the sanitation union really is about. So
that's a good word to use.
We can, like the flag says, you can trust the sanitation union.
You can trust them. Absolutely.
Good. I'm glad we all agree.
Yeah, absolutely. See, and I don't think they'd come after Rabbit Rachel if she agreed.
No, of course not. They wouldn't do that.
No.
They would probably reach out and just try to make things really, make sure she understands what the sanitation union really is about, and make sure that they understand the sanitation union is for everyone's benefit.
That's right.
When they're in control, there's more peace.
And as a local conservationist and field studies expert, Rachel is really benefiting
the
sanitation union by getting these new species that are being
Exactly.
discovered and all these new mutations and categorizing it and noting it and all that stuff. So.
If anything, she'd be too useful to be dead.
Oh, absolutely.
So
if anything, they'll pull her out of the field and make her a professor. Or something.
Exactly. Comes with a raise
Well,
here.
one can dream high and can only hope for the best.
Exactly.
That's what I do here with Clint in our abandoned home that we're currently squatting in.
Well, there's a lot of squats going on out there.
A lot of squats. Got to get your work.
I will say that our current situation is not the best. This home that we are currently doing our squats in has wood paneling everywhere, and for some reason thinks that that's acceptable.
So
And,
tacky.
It's not acceptable. It's just not okay, even in these times.
I know. Even in the Coronapocalypse, there still should be some decor that is just off limits, and I feel like wood paneling really should be.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. As a scientist,
My goodness, yes, it's science.
we're off topic. Got to get back to these night sweepers because they are so hard to detect, and that's what makes them lethal. Beyond the fact that they're the size of a car and are dangerous, with all of their legs and eyes and fangs, and beyond that, the hardest part of detecting them is the fact that they live underground.
Oh.
And they've got a trap door that they build is if a unsuspecting victim walks too close to it, they get a tremor on part of the web to let them know something's out there, and they just spring out and grab
Snatch.
just like that.
Wow.
Just snatch them up.
Well, I can definitely see why they're on the top of your list.
Yes.
I mean,
They are terrifying.
Even a Hulk otter wouldn't have time to change its size to match the size of something like this, or increase it. It would just be.
Exactly.
Oh. Terrifying.
They are.
I am actively shuddering right now.
He is. There's a wet spot underneath his chair.
It's growing.
Anthony, grab the mop.
SOS, I can't blame you. I once again had that same reaction when I first spotted one of these creatures.
You've seen one in person.
One of our unfortunate citizens that
my
was
gosh.
just trying to get fruit. They were just trying to get some fruit,
Sure.
and it didn't work out well.
Oh man.
I took the fruit. I mean, he dropped the fruit.
He dropped it.
Because he can't let the fruit go to waste.
Survival of the fittest.
The spider was already feasting on its prey.
Yeah, you
and
might as
the
well.
fruit was just sitting there.
Might as well get something.
Yeah.
You don't need that fruit.
No point in letting something go to waste.
Exactly, yeah. You can mourn later.
Yeah.
Gotta survive now.
We're in the Coronapocalypse. I have to do what I have to do, even as a scientist.
That's right. That's right.
Science needs you. And Bupkis,
Science needs
I
me.
guess.
And Clint Butkus.
So is it, now Clint? You said was observing a group of the narcotics.
Yes, and I've been trying to keep an eye on him as we've done this interview. I have lost him from my view.
Oh.
Give me just a second. Let me get up and see where he's at here.
Sure, absolutely.
Clint, Mr. Butkus, Clint. Okay, we might have a problem.
What's going on?
Well, it appears that he went into the basement of the house, and we hadn't cleared the basement yet, and Yes, narcotics love dark areas. It's very calming for them, and that tends to be where they spend the day. And I'm very concerned that he went down there alone. He's a little bit rambunctious, and tends to sometimes do things without checking in with someone to make sure that he's safe.
That Clint.
That's kind of an amateur move.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me just take one step down. Can't quite see. Clint? Clint, you there? Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let me get my flashlight out. Oh no. Oh my god. You guys, I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go. Clint. Oh no, Clint, are you okay?
Rachel?
She.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I guess that's.
She must have had to run out of there.
Yeah, I'm sure her and Clint just had to get out of there.
Yeah, it sounded like a little bit of a dire situation.
I'm sure our sanitation union will go ahead and check in on.
Yeah, they're gonna probably send out some specialists.
Location, yeah.
Yeah,
So.
no, definitely. Probably some elites.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna send out the best of the best. That's what they would do in a tragic situation like that.
Or not tragic.
Well,
we don't know. I'm sure they're fine.
I'm sure they're probably fine.
Yeah,
that sounded.
Who knows? I mean,
fine.
Yeah. I'm sure they're just
all good.
I'm sure they're not allergic to the narcotics.
Right. I mean, they're scientists. They're professionals. Prepared.
Yeah. They probably got like the shots,
right.
like EpiPens or something.
Definitely.
I don't know. I have my EpiPen.
That's true.
Yeah.
So.
Because I'm allergic to bees.
Yes, the bees.
Which hopefully haven't mutated.
Not the bees.
Not the bees. Do you like jazz? Yes, that bee. That particular bee is the one I'm allergic to.
Yes.
Just that one.
I'm allergic to the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees.
Anytime someone starts singing "Staying Alive," I just break out in hives.
Oh, I was just about to, but to be honest, that actually would probably go under copyright and we'd get in trouble for it.
That's probably true. We do not own the rights to that name of that song.
We do not, unfortunately.
We own no rights. We barely own the rights to ourselves. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Thankfully, Apocalypse Bros wasn't taken.
That's true.
Well, shoot. We've never really had. Well, that's not entirely true. I suppose when we had Rusty Buckets on, he kind of conked out after a moment. But I'm sure again it's okay. Rusty Buckets is okay. I'm pretty sure he's still out there somewhere. Sanitation Union told us their explicit words were, "Don't worry about it." That's what they told us. So I'm assuming that means he's fine. He's alive. He's out there somewhere. Like we said, getting re-educated. I'm sure Rabid Rachel and Clinton Bupkis are fine. They're out there. They're doing A-okay. They're just getting out of a bad situation, and who knows? Maybe it was a good thing that they're leaving in such haste, because it sounded like the house that they were stuck in just was really kind of tacky with the wood paneling that they had talked about. So
checks out.
It's probably for the best that they're escaping.
Right.
They're leaving.
Yes.
Not that like anything bad happens.
Right. No.
So I'm sure not.
Nothing ever happens bad in the wild.
To scientists.
Right.
They're fine.
That's why they're scientists.
That's right. They
off limits. The creatures
smart.
know they're off limits.
Yeah, that's right. They have like a protective science shield.
It's like we're just here to study you, not to scare you. Or
that's
eat
right.
You.
That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways. No, you go ahead.
We actually have some merch to send out to them.
Oh yes, of course.
And I'm sure they'll need them.
Yeah, it sounds like.
So Anthony found these old nets. They were used for fishing. Most of the holes have been patched up by Anthony. He completed his raccoon scouts, so he was very. He knows very many knots and how to tie them and how to make them stay. So he's repaired them as best as he can, and we were going to send them out to him. We figured they can be good in capturing anything to study. So we'll send out a couple of those knots that are colored with our logo on them. So.
Awesome.
So
we're all obviously very proud of Anthony for finishing. His scouts.
And I'm
scouts.
Sure we are very proud of him. His parents were there, from what I hear. Pictures, that he holds very dear to his raccoon chest.
Mm-hmm. And he got a patch.
Yes, he did get a patch.
That's why he wears that patch. That's how he got there.
That's true. Yeah. He also has raccoon tattoos.
Now, granted, these are all patches that he personally scrounged up and made for himself.
Right.
But obviously, you also have to prove what they represent. So, but anyways, yes, nets.
So yeah, they got some nets. They can use to catch animals that are they to eat, catch the ones that they're wanting to study, whatever the case might be. So we'll send those out, get them to them wherever they may be in the vast wasteland of Coronapocalypse land.
Absolutely.
So
that's fantastic. I feel like that's one of the more useful. Well, we did give out the Heelys.
that's true. We did give out the Heelys.
But I gotta say that a net for people that are researching creatures, that's probably one of the most useful gifts that we've given out. Honestly.
Yeah, I really try to hone in on what the guest could use. So I feel like that was really the number one thing that they could really use right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially right now.
Right, 2 nets for 2 alive, healthy people being chased by narcotics. So.
Now, normally this would be the part of the show where Sly and I give you guys some sort of survival tip or DIY, but to be honest, this whole episode has been about survival tips.
It really has been. It's been about what not to do, what to do, basically. The bigger you get, the bigger the otter's going to get. So there's no point in becoming, try to look like you're bigger for otters, stay small.
In fact, the smaller you look, probably the better.
Exactly. Curl up into a little ball, maybe they'll turn into a little ball as well, and then right before they get big again.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta smack them or run or
become
whatever. Creative
when you're out there. That's really the best advice we can give you today. So
yeah.
Take that and run with it.
So take the otherwise stats that we got from the fantastic local conservation and field studies expert, Rabbit Rachel. Take those stats of those creatures that we've been talking about. Keep them in mind.
Exactly.
Make up some strategies beforehand because preparedness always breeds. Is there a saying to this? Is there a full version?
Preparedness breeds survival.
Sure. Success, survival.
Survivor, yes.
Yeah, and
they're synonymous in the wasteland.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to survive successfully.
Right. The longer you survive, the more successful that has been.
That's right. That's right. So, again, listen over the monsters, write down what they are capable of, what their weakness might be, come up with some weaknesses, whatever the case. Test some stuff out, shoot it over to us. If you see any interesting creatures out there in the wasteland, let us know in the comments and or whatever it is through whatever you're listening to. You can shoot us up a message.
Holla at your boys.
Holla at your boys on social media.
We're working on getting a live number so you can call in,
That's right.
And contact us. Post a live Q&A for you.
Anthony's working on that.
That's true.
That's right. So yeah, hit us up with that, or put some questions together. And the next time that we do a Q&A episode, you can hit us up in there.
Get your cues ready. Get your cues ready for our A's.
That's all right, because we're gonna put our A's in your cues.
We're gonna put our A's hard in your cues. We're coming at you hard with our A's.
You're gonna love it.
I love it.
It's gonna be amazing.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, thank you all for listening. Again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, whatever the case. Follow us on whatever you're able to get in.
Hit that download button. Leave us some good reviews. If we were good, if we weren't good, lie and leave us some good reviews anyway.
That's right. And make sure to tell us about your post-apocalyptic experiences.
We need that.
We want to know what's going on out in the world.
Because
we've got a pretty limited...
Exactly.
I mean, we see what's around our bunker. We call people in. We meet people. Thanks to Anthony. He finds a lot of people. So.
He is. He's a friendly raccoon.
Absolutely.
When he wants to be.
Steals some things here and there, but otherwise he's friendly. So, again...
Who really owns what? It's such a
right.
relative term in the apocalypse.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's like socialism.
Yes, socialism.
But we're not going to get into that.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
When I take it from you and give it to whoever I want.
And that happens.
Usually myself.
That's right.
I need it. More than you.
Robin Hood, but
yes,
right into my mouth.
Robbing the hood.
That's right.
Apocalypse hood.
So again, thank you all for listening. This has been
the Apocalypse Bros.